Alright, what's going on, y'all? It's BoxingWave. I'm going to speak on the fights that went down this past weekend. So first we had Terence Crawford against Ricky Burns, which was a very good fight. I think the commentators didn't give Ricky Burns the credit he deserved. I heard him say several times that he didn't fight, he wasn't fighting his fight. You know, he wasn't prepared, or you know, he just wasn't himself that night. I thought that was one of the best Ricky Burns performances I've seen. Even though he lost, I thought he looked great in there. You know, he countered he countered Terence Crawford very well, especially early in the fight. A lot of the rounds were close. He made Terence Crawford miss a lot. Terence Crawford had to make several adjustments for him to get comfortable in the ring that night. So I think Ricky Burns looked pretty good. I mean, I thought he won the first 2 rounds, which were debatable. A lot of the rounds were close. I thought he won the first 2 rounds and the 10th round, I believe. I think it was the 10th round too. I think the 3rd round was like a tie. I remember that it was like neither one of them was really active in the 3rd round, but I gave him the 10th round, and in the 10th round, I thought Ricky Burns, if he had came back and won those championship rounds, because it was Terence Crawford's first time in the championship rounds that late, I thought he might have came back and actually pulled off the win, the upset. You know, when he came back in the 10th round, I was like, oh, you know, we in trouble here, you know, because, you know, that was his hometown. I mean, they were fighting in Scotland, and I thought Ricky Burns might have came back and pulled off the upset, or I thought it might have been a draw. But Terence Crawford did very well in the last 2 rounds. He was already comfortable before that. You know, he was winning rounds and looking comfortable doing it. But Ricky Burns won the 10th round, I believe, which was also a close round. But when he won that round, in my eyes, I thought he was on pace to come back and try to steal this fight. But he didn't. You know, Terence Crawford stepped up, and he looked really good at the end. Like I said, the commentators just didn't give Ricky Burns the credit. He did great. Terence Crawford looked good in there. I think a lot of people expected. I thought Terence Crawford was gonna win a lot more decisive than he did. I didn't do a prediction video because I thought it was pretty obvious who was gonna win the fight. But Ricky Burns did a good job, and Terence Crawford did well too. He had to make the adjustments, and you know, the first few rounds he was having a lot of trouble. He looked a little frustrated in there, but he made the adjustments and won the fight, pulled off the win. So as far as their future, I think, you know, I would like Ricky Burns to stay in the mix of things, and I would like the fight that I would like to see with Terence Crawford is between, if possible, if Mikey Garcia and Gamboa fight each other, I would like to see him fight the winner of that fight. I know he's beaten Mikey Garcia a couple times in the amateurs. I would like to see him fight today, you know. So I think that's what I would like to see in the future for both fighters. Now, then you had the Lomachenko Orlando Salido fight. Alright, so if you watch my prediction video, I wasn't really in favor of the fight. I didn't like the fight because I thought I wanted to see more from Lomachenko. He was just coming off his win in his first professional fight, and I thought it was a dangerous fight. Now I thought even with that being said, I thought he had the skills to still pull off the win against Orlando Salido. But you know, I said this in the video, like, you know, he doesn't fight like an amateur. You know, he always looks great, superb. He looks on another level from the amateurs that he's fought. And even his first professional fight, he looked like really good. Like, he had all kinds of weapons, you know. But when you fight a guy, a championship fighter, when you go from fighting an average professional fighter to a championship fighter, you know, a bunch of amateurs, you know, an average fighter, and then a champion, it's a whole different ball game here. You know, Orlando Salido been around for a long time. He's a very experienced fighter. You know, and this fight, Lomachenko actually looked like an amateur. You know, this is the first time I actually seen him look like an amateur. You know, and I don't think it's over for him because, me personally, I don't think the fight went exactly the way anybody predicted. You know, a lot of people that thought Lomachenko was going to win, lose, it was going to be because of the later rounds, which he's never fought. I don't think he fought past 5 rounds. So a lot of people thought Orlando Salido was going to pick up the pace, which he has done in the past, and make a late stoppage or win by decision or whatever. A lot of people thought Lomachenko, including myself, thought that he was going to get the jump on Salido early. You know, the first half of the fight, first 5-6 rounds, get the jump on him. You know, he is the better boxer, so people like people like myself thought he was gonna get the jump on him and look good early, but kind of fade out later in the round. You know, later rounds, like we were all worried about how he's gonna look in the second half in the championship rounds. Now, this is the issues that I had with Lomachenko. Like the first round, you can tell Salido fought a very tactical fight. Like you can tell his game plan was to relax, attack the body, slow him down for the later rounds, you know. Get him tender early and then, you know, let him get his rounds. But, you know, he fought a defensive fight early on. He didn't really attack him until he realized this Lomachenko was probably doing the same thing. I thought Lomachenko was going to get a fast start. He didn't. He paced himself. And you can tell he wanted to have the energy to fight in the later rounds. I think he paced himself a little too much. I think he just didn't let his hands go. He threw some combinations, some nice combinations here and there, but he didn't attack the body at all. I don't know if he was intimidated by Salido's size, but he just didn't attack the body. He looked like, you know, he just didn't want to let his hands go, and he did a lot of holding. Like he was lunging and holding, you know, he was jumping in the hold, you know. He looked confused in there, and he looked like he didn't really know what he wanted to do. All right, he looked like he just wanted to survive, and you know, by the time he started picking up the pace a little bit, Salido was already comfortable at that point. Now, the thing with the low blows, the low blows, there was a lot of low blows by Orlando Salido. Another rookie mistake with Lomachenko is, even if he's not hurting you, and if you think he's not hurting you, if you're getting hit down there, you need to at least complain, fake it. I mean, I know that sounds crazy. You don't have to do your best Bernard Hopkins impersonation or anything like that, but you gotta at least let the ref know that he's hitting you there. You can't just keep fighting and holding. You know, you didn't look. He didn't even turn to look at the ref one time. You know, and the ref just allowed it. You know, in fact, the ref was probably getting on Lomachenko more about his holding more than he did Orlando Salido with the low blows. So I think that was another rookie mistake. You know, a lot of stuff that I seen with Lomachenko was due to lack of experience. You know, he did survive. He didn't get knocked down or anything, but you know, he did well in the last couple rounds. You know, Salido was hurt, and he stepped it up the last couple of rounds, which was good, but he didn't fight his fight. I think if Lomachenko attacked the body early, like he does very well, I believe his first professional fight, I think he dropped the guy with a body shot. I don't remember if the KO was a body shot or not, but I remember the first knockdown was from a body blow. And you know, he's pretty skilled at that. I don't know why he didn't do it. Like I said, he might have been intimidated a little bit with Orlando Salido's size, and you know, he just looked uncomfortable in there. He didn't really. And then at the end, by the time he wanted to step it up, even the last 2 rounds when he stepped it up and Orlando Salido was hurt and tired, Orlando Salido just held him, and he just could not get his arms free. He just couldn't do it. And the ref did a horrible job of breaking him up. the ref was the ref did a bad job, but at the same time, you know, if Lomachenko had a little bit more experience in a professional level, I think he would have found ways to win that fight and finish Orlando Salido off. And he would have found ways to pace himself a lot better, because he would have known how to fight in later rounds. You know, if you had fought at least 5-10 people going to the 10th round, you would have known how to pace yourself a lot better. You know, I don't think it's over. I don't think his career is over or anything like that. You know, I think there's still, you know, even though he lost, he didn't lose in a way where, you know, he was knocked down and humiliated. It was a split decision. It was a close fight. I thought Orlando Salido clearly won the fight, but it still was a close fight. You know, not bad for a guy in his second professional fight. Now, then you had Chavez Jr. versus Vera 2. I thought Chavez clearly lost the first fight. I think Chavez won only 3 rounds in the first fight. I didn't do a video on this, but I did tweet it. Several people asked me on Twitter what I thought about the fight. I said that Chavez Jr. was going to take it this time. He looked like he was very serious. There was some training videos online. He looked a lot more serious and ready this time around. I thought he was going to be a lot more serious this time around. And then when I found out he made weight pretty easily, I knew for sure that he was going to do better this fight. He is the better boxer of the two. He has a great chin. And I just knew he was going to step it up this time. You know, I mean, there's been times where he's gotten, you know, I think even in the Carlos Molina fight where I thought he lost the first fight, he stepped it up in the second fight, you know. But it was a good fight, very good fight. I think it was the best fight of the weekend. Very entertaining fight. Chavez, you know, he showed out. You know, he showed out for the crowd. He called out Triple G at the end. I don't know what's gonna happen with that, because I know Sergio Martinez says he wants to fight Triple G after Cotto if he wins. And I don't know if Triple G is ready to go up to 168 at this moment. So Chavez Jr. looked really good, you know. I would like to see the Triple G fight. I would want Ward to fight him, but I think the fight with Triple G would be a better fight. I would like Ward to fight him because I think it would be a big fight. I don't know if it's going to be pay-per-view worthy, but it would be a big fight for Ward. Big name for Ward, for him, you know, to show his skills. But if the fight between Chavez and Triple G were to go down, I think that would be a better, more entertaining, more competitive fight, because Chavez, I've never seen him really hurt. He has a great chin, and you know, unless Triple G really attacks the body, which I would expect him to do, I think this fight could go to decision, you know. And then I would like to see how durable Triple G really is, you know. It's still kind of a mystery of how durable he is. So I think that would be a good fight, especially if Chavez comes well prepared. So, you know, that's the way I see it. Vera, another guy, you know, he has a lot of losses now, but you know what? He's a guy that he's always going to bring a good fight to whoever. He's going to always bring the pain, you know what I'm saying? He's always going to do his job, his part. He did well against Chavez both fights. You know, he won his rounds in this one, and I thought it was a very entertaining fight. I love the fight. That was my favorite fight of the weekend. All right, so just leave your thoughts. A lot of those, I'm a couple days late, but I've been really busy. And check out the other videos that I put up earlier this week, and make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. Thanks.